You sure looking good tonight, baby. I just wanna make sweet love to you tonight, baby. Come on. If you don't mind, let me tell you.
Hey there, sexy lady of my dreams. Can I have you here with me? I just wanna love you down. Yeah. I'm making you scream my name. Loving your body. I'll be kissing your body. And I'll be caressing your body. Oh, baby, just come on. Loving your body. I'll be loving, feeling your body. I'm gonna touching your body all night, baby. Now I'm about to fulfill your fantasy. So come a little closer, bring your body to me. I'm trying to take my time, I won't rush at all, 'cause you deserve the best. I'm gonna love, I'm gonna kissing your body until the morning comes. Caressing your body, oh baby, just come on. Loving your body, and let me feeling your body, and I just wanna touching your body. If you don't mind, baby, let me love. Loving your body, I just wanna kissing your body. Don't stop me, baby, kissing your body. Oh, baby, come on, your body, and let me feeling your body. Please, baby, touching your body, baby. La 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 la. Oh, baby, please. Oh, please, baby. We're gonna get it on tonight. Let's get it on. Get it on. I wanna love. Kissing your body all night, baby. Kissing your body, oh baby. Don't stop, no. Loving your body, just let me love. Feeling your body, I just wanna touch your body, you all night long. Come on. Loving your body, I wanna do it again. Kissing your body, I wanna do it again. Kissing your body, I just can't get enough of you, baby. Feeling your body, touching your body. I just wanna feel you tonight, baby. Makes me love. If you don't mind, sip a little wine, sip up, don't mind. Spend a little time. Ooh, I wanna make sweet love. Ooh, I wanna make sweet love. Ooh, I wanna make sweet love. I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, hair's turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20-piece. 'Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clothes on. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put that clothes on, girl. Why you gotta look so good? I can look can see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I want a check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Everything in me telling me all that you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, but not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done, when you put your grown on. It's something about you when you put your grown on. Oh, when you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Oh, when you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor giving more. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting your own wanna know. Why you gotta look so good? With your hair done and your nails done, when you put that grown on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
Taking my life to the next level. I can do anything, I can do anything. On point, on leak, looking incredible. I can do anything, I can do anything. It's time to shine as I live my life. Cause the dreams are high. Turn up my life. I can do anything, I can do anything. 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 It's time for the future.
Greetings, peace and love. Thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to Turn Up Life. How y'all doing today?
I'm excited. Happy Black History Month.
I know,
Yes.
Hey.
I'm Aziza Lisa here with my co-host, Sister Africa, in the house.
Happy Sunday.
And our special guest, Mr. Donna Michi Davis.
Thank you for having
Y'all
me.
ain't ready.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to be here.
ain't ready.
Don't do that. Don't do
They
that.
ain't ready. No, y'all really ain't ready. He's got a lot of information for us. But we want to start the show off with our quote for today.
Wow.
And I'll just say this so that you guys know, I'm big on words and the power of words and quotes and things that just help to, take you to the next level.
Yes.
Just through words, through the things that you're hearing and putting in your mind. We have to watch what we're feeding our minds, right? So a lot of times when I turn on my social media and I scroll through briefly, because I really don't have a lot of time to be on there, if I find a friend's page and they have something insightful to say, that's that really gets me versus their pictures. I love the pictures. Don't get me wrong, and I'm gonna love the pictures. You already see I'm loving your pictures, like it, girl,
Yes.
love it. You
Yes.
looking good, the
Yes.
whole nine. Okay.
Yes.
But when you're saying something that feeds me, I'm
Yeah.
like, yes, I may resonate, let that resonate with me for a minute. So this happened to be on a person's page. They just came through my feed. Miss Sybil Holloway, and she's with Sib's Breakfast Club.
Wow.
So this quote was just, wow, and I'll just have to say it. Normalize consistently being excellent. The paper will follow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's simple. She's amazing.
Oh my God. So I'm just like, wow. I mean, that's so serious because, a lot of people, we want the paper. You want the, the results, the end result.
Yeah.
You want the benefit of the work you're putting in. But Don, we were just talking about this. Like, you have to trust there's a process.
There's a process. Yes,
that
ma'am.
goes with that. But if you just normalize consistently being excellent.
That's right.
So just be really good at what you do. Believe me, the paper will follow. Like
Yeah.
she said, that's going to come.
And people don't understand it's the little steps. Like they're so focused on the fast turnaround, but they don't understand it's getting in the pattern of doing the little things correctly in a
Yes.
consistent manner. Even if you're building a house, if you don't put those bricks in the appropriate place, or if
Absolutely.
you don't dig and that foundation is just right, it's only a matter of time before it crumbles. So getting in good habits, and I look forward to talking about that today.
Yeah. And you just said a key word that always is just, it rings true. Your foundation is everything.
Yeah.
The foundation of a house is everything.
Yeah.
You can't build if the foundation is weak, if it's, not stable, any of that. Your foundation has to be strong, has to be level, it has to be strong. And the same is with us.
Yes.
Solid.
Yeah, whatever you're building, that's got to be solid first, and then you can continue to build layer upon layer, on top of your foundation. But make sure your foundation is strong.
Yes.
So, wow, I just want to say shout out Sybil Holloway, and so she actually is over Sib's Breakfast Club,
Wow.
and they meet every Saturday. Well, I won't say every Saturday, but they do events, social gatherings on Saturdays, and the purpose of her organization is actually to help promote Black business.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, as a social gathering, once she lets everybody know about the event that she's having, you come together and you socialize and you network, and all that's beautiful. But you're also doing it in a place that is a Black business, and the Black business that's hosting the gathering is benefiting, of course, because they're there supporting them financially.
Yeah. It sounds intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's our go-to word. Even when we were talking about, I think the last week or week before last, we were talking about your vision boards.
Yes,
We got to be
yes.
intentional.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah. So shout out, Sib. Keep doing the great work that you're doing, and keep coming with these great quotes, lady.
Wow.
Keep feeding us. Keep feeding that mental, definitely.
Yes.
I love that. So back to what you just said in terms of the vision board, too, Dawn. So I just have to say, first of all, the vision board party was a success.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh, we had a blast. I was juggling between the online
Right, and then the
participants
people in person,
and the
right?
people that were in person. So the people that were in person, we had a small group, of course, because of what's going on.
Beautiful.
Shout out to Sean Michelle's Homemade Ice Cream for
Wow.
giving us their facility to use for that.
Beautiful.
We had a group of very intelligent, focused young people.
Go ahead.
I was so amazed at them.
Yeah.
Just looking at their vision boards, going around the room and looking at each vision board and asking them to explain, what their pictures meant, what were their words for,
Yeah.
what are their goals for this year. And one of the young ladies, Sister Naya, she's an architectural major.
Oh, wow.
And
Impressive.
yes, and she's also into gardening.
Okay.
Like majorly into gardening. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have her on the show so she can give some
Beautiful,
tips.
beautiful, beautiful.
So she does her own gardening. She sells, the vegetables and everything that she harvests.
Wow.
And just beautiful young woman. And her and there was a married couple that was there, a young married couple, and that's how they spent their anniversary.
Beautiful.
Doing the
love
vision
it.
board party
That's
together.
awesome.
Wow.
Yes. And then there was
that.
another young man that was from the East Coast. And you just have to watch the footage on,
Yeah,
the Turn Up Life
it
page.
sounds powerful. It sounds powerful.
You got to look at the footage on the Turn Up Life page. You'll definitely see clips of the event. And then, of course, we had the online audience through the website, wearingbighats.com and Turn Up Life. So, so it was definitely successful. There were a few people that messaged me, well, more than a few, that unfortunately they, RSVP, but they weren't able to do it, so they wanted to know if we would do it again. Yeah. And I told them I would. So this evening, anybody that missed out, if you want to do it at 7:30, you definitely can. You're going to have to contact me through Turn Up Life on Facebook, and I'll send you the link for the 7:30 p.m.
Awesome.
Central Standard Time, okay?
Wow, that's beautiful.
So, wow. So we're going to keep on moving with that. The follow-up event is going to come in a few months. Every 3 months, we're going to do a checkup.
Wow.
And check your timeline of goals and, for everybody that was involved. So, again, we want you to have your vision board first before we start those events. So if you're still interested, you still have time to do that.
We don't understand how much of a support we are to each other.
Yes,
and how it's so important to hold each other accountable. So we may look at this as though it's a quote-unquote vision board party, but you're building people.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Wow. Beautiful.
So, wearingbighats.com. You guys, please go online, check out the site, see some of the work that we're doing and support. We're just getting going good. Well, actually, we've been going for a few years, but we're just getting going good and it's officially established as a non-for-profit as of December. So please support us.
Wow, that's major.
Yeah. So also, of course, Black History Month.
Yeah. And you know what I do intentionally when I go into the stores? I say Happy Holidays. And it's like, Christmas is over. No, it's Black History Month.
Absolutely. I know that's right.
Happy Holidays.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's right.
Wow. And I always say, that's cool. The month is,
365
this is our, but 365,
yes,
like every day, all day.
Absolutely. 365 Black.
Every day, all day. We are supporting, Black history. We've given a lot.
Oh, wow.
We have contributed a lot, and it should not be just a month, but we'll take the month too.
And still giving.
And still giving. Wow. Yes. Yeah. And with that said, I do want to say this. If you have not checked out Gaynor Hall's report on Robbins, Illinois, just Google Gaynor Hall, Robbins, Illinois. She just did a story on Robbins, Illinois that was awesome. Wow. I caught the tail end of it, so I don't want to do it injustice. So I'm telling you guys to check it out. But Robbins, Illinois has a lot of rich history. I had no idea. I do remember catching the information about the Tuskegee Airmen and how 10 of the Tuskegee Airmen actually came out of Robbins, Illinois.
Wow.
They were trained by two black men there who established a aeronautics program. The first black airport was established in Robbins, Illinois. Now, 2 or 3 years later, it basically was gone. I can't remember why they said, but it was the first black airport was established in Robbins, Illinois. And so a lot of men were trained, and I imagine women too, I'm not sure, but I do know a lot of men were trained through their program. And of course they were inspired by the awesome Bessie Coleman.
First in flight.
First in flight, yes, black woman. And of course she didn't live on to see her dream of establishing an aeronautics program and a pilot center, but they took it to the next level and they did their thing, and it was right in Robbins, Illinois. So
put in that work so they can continue the work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Midway Airport, they have it dedicated to her.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's the power of legacy.
Absolutely.
That's why we have to make sure we pay homage to our ancestors.
Absolutely.
Because they did the real work.
Yes, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they did. As a matter of fact, I recall part of the story as saying, so many of our ancestors were migrating from the South during that time. One particular person who helped establish Robbins walked.
Wow.
Mississippi or Arkansas, wherever it was way away, and he walked till he got to Robbins, Illinois.
Wow.
With $25.
Wow.
To his name, that was it. But just the people that established it, they were a solid group of people. They were saying that most of the people that were migrating were really going to Chicago versus Robbins, because Robbins reminded them a little too much of the rural South. So, but there were a number that stayed in Robbins.
I think it's beautiful. Our ancestors understood the importance of revolution.
Yes.
But more than anything, when a revolution takes place, you can't be comfortable. It's gonna cause you to be uncomfortable. You can't stand in line for the iPhones. You can't stand in line. It's just something you just you can't. It's not a thought no more. Right. You're not standing. Our people walked miles and miles and miles because we said we're not gonna ride the bus.
That's right.
You're not gonna disrespect me and still. NFL is a nonprofit. People don't understand that. The NFL is a non. Do you know what kind of money?
I had no idea.
Oh my God! It's a 501c3. It doesn't have to give money away. So I say
they get so much.
They get so much,
They
but
get
they
so
can't.
much. That's why that's blowing
they're
my
not
mind.
taxed
I'm like,
off anything.
Wow.
But the point that I'm making is when you blackball one black man in the NFL, you blackball them all. Why are we still wearing jerseys? It's just back then it was a different. They carried themselves a different type of. Not saying we don't have that today, but back then it was just a little. It was a little. They were really tired.
Oh,
you know what
absolutely.
else is interesting to that point? The divorce rate is so high, but back then that wasn't a thought either.
Wow.
Yeah.
They had to stay together.
Yeah,
They
they
needed each
did.
other that much.
Yeah.
It was not a thought.
Yeah.
Divorce, what is that?
Right.
Not an
right.
option.
Absolutely. Yeah. It wasn't an option.
That brings you to a question, and we'll move forward. Have we gotten to a place where we have so many options we don't value what we have?
That's a great.
Well,
point.
that was part of that. A lot of people thought their ice was colder. And then we're going to go to Marshall Fields instead of May shop over there.
Yeah.
Right.
And what
right.
did that get us?
Absolutely.
What did it get us?
Well, that's like now we've got so many options to keep our attention.
Yeah.
Versus, back in the day, of course, you didn't have computers and iPhones. You had to talk with each other.
Yeah.
You had to communicate. You had to make your own fun.
Yes, ma'am.
Whether it was, hey, me and my brothers and sisters are putting on a play for mom and
Don't
dad.
do that.
Right.
Don't-
We're doing a dance show. Yes.
Don't do that.
Who's singing tonight?
Hey, right. Oh my God. Board games,
Yeah.
quizzes,
Monopoly.
spelling bees, all of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Scrabble.
It's a different world.
yeah, our minds were really being nurtured during that time too, because again, like you said, we had less options.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can just have too much,
Yeah.
too
I
much to
remember
choose from.
Thursday was the night that we all had dinner together and we watched the Cosby Show.
Okay, yeah,
Thursday
Beautiful.
nights. People
Yes.
came over like that was a thing.
That was the thing.
yes,
We wanted to see what Theo had on. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We wanted to
Okay.
see what was happening.
Yeah.
right. Well, Lisa Bonet was
You
rocking,
understand
right?
me? we wanted to see that as a family, though.
Yes, yes,
And that's the importance of when you deal with parents. Parents have to run their households.
That's right.
That you can't allow TV to raise your kids. You can't
Absolutely.
allow what somebody else says outside of the household to dictate what goes on
That's
inside.
right.
And everyone talks about the world. Just start right there in your living room.
absolutely.
And creating great principles and practices that will be that will go on for a long time.
Yes,
right.
yes,
Generational.
yes. Wow.
Yeah.
So, wow. Well, on that note, we're gonna keep
ahead.
this mic on
Don't
Donna
do that.
Michi right
Don't
here.
be that person. Don't be her.
Well, actually, right before we do that, I do want to say one more quote because this is something else that I had to give y'all two today.
Yes, ma'am.
And this was based on the Vision Board Party and what we were discussing during that event. And we were talking about mindsets. You have your progressive or your growth mindset, versus the mindset that's not willing to change. So you have basically the progressive mindset. You have a glass of water that's half full. That progressive mindset, that growth mindset, sees that glass as half full. The other person that's negative, that's
Sees it
not
as
willing to
half
change,
empty.
sees it as half empty. We're looking at the same glass.
Yeah.
How do you see it, though?
Yeah.
So your interpretation of it is that it's half empty. So with that, this quote goes, you don't become what you want if you live in the space of what you don't have. Did y'all get that?
Say it one more time.
Yes. You don't become what you want if you live in the space of what you don't have.
It's true.
So stop thinking about what you don't have, who didn't do what,
Yeah.
The blame game, you're where you are or not where you are because of someone else or because you don't have access to this or that or whatever. No.
That's right.
No, I mean, you can't do that and grow. You just
That's
can't.
right.
You can stay there if you want to, but believe me, you're going to stay right there.
Yeah.
Continuously talking about things you desire, but you can't achieve. You can't go any further because of this, that, and the third. You've got to get out of that space.
That's real.
Environment is a monster, isn't it? Environment is truly upbringing, and environment will really like affect your perception on how you see things.
Oh yeah.
Because the man who says I can't and the man who says I can't, well, the man who says I can't and the man who says I can, they're both right.
Right, that's right.
Both of them are right.
That's
it
right.
just depends on what man are you.
That's right. Yeah.
But your environment, I thank God I had a praying mother that understood the importance of faith.
Oh
Yes.
That's our credit right there. Our faith. That's it. That's all we got. At the end of the day, we have nothing else to bank on but God gonna take it from here.
Right.
So that foundation is important.
And that God is within you. So
Yeah.
you got to believe in yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So wow. I mean, you're so right. Facebook audience, Facebook Live audience. Believe in you. Be you. Believe in you.
Yeah.
Really get started today. If you were in another place, you have the power to change that.
Right now.
Right now. Absolutely. You really do. Just say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do, and go for it. No excuses.
None.
No excuses allowed in the realm of the person that's positive, that's growing.
That's right.
Yeah, no room for that.
And I think also being accountable without blaming, like you said, and being okay with owning your own, whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And surrounding yourself with people that can uplift you, help you, resource you, you know?
And like you said, owning, take ownership of whatever has happened.
Yeah.
Because really, until you do that, someone else has the power.
That's true.
When you take the ownership, now you have the power to say, I'm going to change it. But if your language continues to be, it's someone else's fault, they got the power then.
That's true.
You're giving it to them.
You gave it to them.
Right.
They won. Yeah.
They won. They won, yeah. So are you winning? Are we winning? We winning.
Yes.
We're winning on Turn Up Life. That's all I'm saying. Turn Up Life is winning.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So with that being said, we want to give you guys some financial information to help you just become empowered in that area. Some of us have a little information. Some of us have a lot. Some of us are on the road to making some changes. Some of us are balling out of control. We doing it. You know what I mean? I mean, we run the gamut. Some of us are really struggling. All of us need information just to keep it moving, keep improving. Even those that are financially successful, they constantly get advice, most of them from people that know.
Absolutely.
It never stops.
Yeah.
It's about information and access.
Yeah.
You get to a place in life, and I say this all the time, you get to a place where it's no longer, it's about relationships, information, and access and opportunity. That's what it's about. That's why I don't mind paying to go to conferences. Like at one point, $300, $500. No, you paying for that information.
That's
you
right.
are.
And
Yes,
you're
you are.
investing in yourself.
And you invest. That's that intellectual property.
Absolutely.
Nobody
you
can
want to
take
be
that.
better. You want to get that. Sometimes it's not even the presenter. It's the people you meet that are there to learn with you. You start a whole business with someone that you walked on the elevator with to get there.
Facts.
That's so true. That networking piece during the conference. Yeah.
Facts.
Yes. So Donna Michi Davis, and we gave his, backstory or background.
Yeah, his 2-page.
A
Don't
little
do that.
bit. Right.
Don't do that. Just tell me
A
to
few
start
days
talking.
ago.
Don't do that. Just say start talking.
But I'll just say, first of all, he's chock full of information that's going to empower you. That I know for sure.
Yes.
And we just wanted to start off with some basic things this show.
Okay.
And, maybe if we have time, we'll advance just a little bit for those that are already kind of moving forward and on their road.
Okay.
But for those, say, that don't have credit established at all, first of all, I want you to talk about some ways to start establishing credit. And that's not only a lot of times for young adults. A lot of times it's, the majority of those type people are normally young adults in college and high school. And they just, this is their first introduction to credit and the whole nine. So they're trying to see how to establish it. But then even with that, what are the different credit scores? What are the ranges? Like, 300 to 800, whatever that is, and what is good, bad, fair, and excellent.
Gotcha.
So just give us a little insight.
I'm gonna give you a little rundown, and I wrote some things down only because I'm trying to stay mindful of time.
Okay.
If I get out there, just tap my shoulder and say, reel it back on in. But I really want to talk about the importance of the mindset. And it trickles into getting into credit as well, but you have to change your mindset. What's your overall goal? Why are you doing this? Because if that why factor is not in place, your credit score, you'll stick with it for a few days, but at the end of the day, you'll be like, I'm going to give it up. Let's start off right here. The importance you're saying of credit. Credit's important because if leveraged the right way, it would open up the doors for more opportunity and more finances as well. Prime example, you may want to buy that new multi-unit building. So when you're dealing with units, you're dealing 1 to 4 units is residential. If you buy a property, 1 to 4 units is residential. With residential, you can still do a FHA loan. And an FHA loan, you only have to put 3 to 5% down. So let's look at the numbers on that. Let's say you buy a residential building with 4 units, 3 to 5% down, and quote unquote, it may be $100,000. I'm just throwing some numbers out there. Okay. Well, when you talk about 3% of $100,000, you're talking about $3,000. You'll pay a little bit of extra in closing fees and things of that nature. But the main problem, the point I'm making is, who has $100,000 just to put down cash? Right. You see what I'm saying? That's why you want to make sure that your credit is on point. The sad part about it is we don't even check our credit until we in a desperate situation. Never be reactive, be proactive. Absolutely. That's my advice to everyone. Check your status, just like you go get your checkup on your body, just like you go to the doctor, just every other make sure you check on your credit. You could utilize third parties like Identity IQ, My Fico. Now these third parties may cost you like $25 or $30 a month, but if someone's doing some fraud under your name or something, you get a bing, a ding, or this, that, and other. I understand that people utilize Credit Karma, but get away. I mean, listen, let me start here. You have to do what you have to do, what your pockets will allow you to do. But one thing I don't like is when we spend $20,000 on a bed frame, but we trying to bargain for the mattress. Wow. Don't have that mindset. Yeah, the mattress is what's going to bring health and nourishment to your body.
Especially if it's a sleep number.
Sorry. Let me find out.
I'm sorry.
Let me find out you getting paid.
I need my sleep.
But
that's serious.
We gotta operate from a different. We gotta operate from a different energy where we understand where priorities is concerned.
Yes.
Like you'll spend, and I'm gonna move on from here. But you'll spend $300. I remember when colors the cut, like when I was in high school, we'll spend $2,000 for the car. But $15,000 for the rims.
Right.
If that's not bad, it was even a situation where it blew my mind. You want to know what blew my mind when I found out people financed rims? I had no idea you could finance rims.
That's a lot.
I said, "Are you serious? Is people are really
never even heard of that.
Financing rims?"
Wow.
Because everybody focus on healing from the outer and then the inner, and not the inner and then the outer.
So what do the rims do for the car? Does it upgrade the car? Because the cars depreciate, right?
The cars do depreciate.
I'm just trying to understand.
So you riding around good. You got the big wheels on, but then you break down at the corner.
And you live at home in your mama basement.
Right.
Facts.
You know what?
All right.
Yeah.
With the nice rims.
That you finance, and you better not miss a payment because they're gonna come take them.
Right.
Now that's facts. So let's move right along.
Let's move
right along. You talk about how do you establish credit, right? Because it's like the chicken before the egg. Before the egg. Well, I can't become trusted with credit if nobody's gonna trust me with credit. And people will say, "Well, I'm trying to get credit, but I don't have credit." And then the bank say, "Well, I can't give you credit because I don't have a history of how you've handled credit in the past." So I would tell anyone, your first go-tos is companies like Self App. I'm always an advocate. I don't get paid anything for Self, but Self App is a great tool to utilize. What I like about them is, you could start it right now today. They don't take no money out of your bank account whatsoever. And they'll start taking their first payment out within 30 days. It's one of those things where, they have the different peers where you could do $25, $50. Don't go. No, only thing you want is something reporting. If you can afford $25, do $25 a month. If you can afford $50, do $50 a month. Don't try to break your pockets. Now, another thing that I would tell you, self-app CDs is certificate of deposit, but it's going to be a backed loan. So you go to a credit union, a bank, and say, hey, I want to get a CD, loan, a back loan. And they'll say, okay, well, we're going to give you a back loan for $500, and every month you have to pay $50 against this loan, and at the end of the loan we'll give you all your money back all at once. If you say no, I don't want to do this anymore, and pull your money prior to reaching the end of whatever the term it is, there will be consequences to it. But the point that I'm making is now you have something reporting to all three credit bureaus. Whenever you're going to open up new credit, you always want to make sure that it's reporting to all three credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. What you don't want to do is when you don't have credit, going after all these top tier credit cards. It's not gonna work. Your American Expresses, your Discovers, your things of that nature. They're gonna say, "No, baby, come back another day. You're not ready. You ain't ready for the big boy league. Slow down." Another thing that I want everyone to understand is the difference between a hard pull and a soft pull.
Yes.
You need to really understand that, because people will just pull your credit willy-nilly. And sometimes people will lie to you and say that it's a soft pull and actually it's a hard pull.
So you talking about like when you out shopping?
Yeah.
And then you like at I'll just say Victoria's Secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, don't do that. Big ups to Victoria's Secrets. We love you.
And then the associate says, well, did you want to get the card today?
Yeah.
They're so happy.
Yeah,
Right.
I used to work for Marshall's. Like,
what am I supposed to do?
I used to, and then you're trying to help them out, right? Yeah.
Right. But you shop there.
Yeah, I used to work for Marshall's like years and years ago. Marshall's or TJ Maxx. Well, it's same company. It doesn't matter. But the point that I'm making is we used to have to, we have goals, and we have to say, hey, listen, you don't have to necessarily get the credit card, but we had to make 3 attempts a day. So you got to make. We have quotas.
Right.
So having quotas, you would be telling, these folks, we don't know nothing about credit. Like what? So we kids, 18, 19 years old. And we're telling these people, sign up, you get 10% back, this, that. And then they're like, well, my credit is bad. The next thing they say after that, well, I've seen a lot of people credit bad and they still got it. Don't give me hope. Stop. You know this a lie. Stop.
Stop the hope.
Stop the hope. Stop.
The false hope with my bad credit.
So the point that I'm making is, if you do things correctly and take your time and allow it to be a slow growth, like that process we were talking about, you will have a strong portfolio to be able to purchase whatever you want, whenever you want. But it goes back to having the mindset of, why are you doing what you're doing? Because what I don't want is to coach you to get an 800 credit score or 850 credit score and you just hang it on the wall. Like, your children are not going to benefit from a credit score of 850 hanging on the wall. You cannot pass that down, generate. Right. I say that each and every time I'm able to talk to someone. When you're utilizing your credit, use it.
Okay.
But make sure you utilize it for an opportunity to bring in more sources of income.
Go back. What's a bad credit score?
Oh, okay.
Numerically, just so they can kind of.
It ranges, and it all depends on the institution that you're talking to. Okay. Poor credit score is usually 300. Well, let me tell you what it ranges from 300 to 850.
Okay.
Some people walk around talking about they got 900s. Now, I'm not saying they lying. I just have never seen a 900. That's all I'm saying.
Somebody lying.
Now, I just ain't never seen.
Was that 2022?
Listen, if so be it. When people keep bragging about they want an 800, 850, you're going to get the same interest rates at 720 as you're going to get at an 800. So
now that's interesting to know.
It's no. You go buy that house, they're going to give you the same interest rate.
Okay.
Now, when you do get in a big boy credit score, like it's impressive to certain, like American Express and things of that, where they may open up some extra doors for you or something of that nature. But other than that, your interest rates ain't nothing off the chain. It's pretty much the same.
Now, the facts. Give us some facts about interest rates, because to me that's information people really need to know. Like we talked about, why is it important to have good credit?
Yeah.
Even just from that standpoint, like you're going to get a car, your interest rate could be 12 to 15% versus 3.
I'm gonna make it as basic as possible because I don't like getting fancy with the rhetoric. When you have a low credit score, you're telling banks you're a big risk. When you have a high credit score, you're telling banks that the probability of you paying me back is really, really good. So whenever you have a very, very low credit score and you're telling me you're a risk, I'm going to put you through so many more hurdles to make sure I secure my money.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Like, even with, you and I, if it was a thing of, you was like, yo, Donna Michi, let me borrow $1,000. And I'm looking at your limp like, you ain't paid Suzanne, you ain't paid, you ain't paid, it's about 8 people you ain't paid back, but you're in desperate need. So what I would say is, listen, I'll let you borrow this $800, but give me that necklace and give me this, that, and the other. And if it's a thing of you can't pay me back, go pick it up from the pawn shop. But I usually wouldn't have to do all that if your word was bond. And that's the problem that you're having. Another thing I want y'all to understand about interest rates with your credit cards as well, when you deal like with you'll start off with like 17% APR, something of that nature. Always when you call in and paying your credit cards, ask them, what is my interest rate? Because the credit card industry can fluctuate your interest rate at any time. So you can sign up for the card and the card be 17%, 18%, but then you could call back a little bit later and you missed a payment, something, it shot up to 20-some%. Now all your money of your monthly payments is going towards interest and not going towards the principal. So these are just, a lot
of people know that.
It's just, and you can automatically get on the phone and call them and say, hey, I need you to lower my interest rate. And then they say, why would I do that? And because, sir, if you want me to pay you all back in full, I cannot keep paying all this money towards the interest and nothing's going really towards the principal. So can you help me help you help us?
Are they up for negotiations?
They
is
are.
That a possibility?
One thing about America, everything is up for negotiation. Everything.
Are you the president?
Something like that. I don't like to brag. But listen, it ain't
about America.
Look, it's not asking me, am I the president? It's asking me, am I the president of what?
Right. I know that's right.
I'm America? No, not at all. But all jokes aside, so when you're dealing with quote unquote bad credit, it's probably around like 300 to like 500 or 570. When you're dealing with fair credit, some people say about 596. I say stick to the 620 and up. When you talk about fair credit, get out of the fives, 620 and up. To buy a property, a real estate property, finance a real estate property, they're looking at about 620. When you start getting in the game where you're trying to get IDA grants and things of that nature as a first-time home buyer, you need to be at a 640. And then when you're dealing with good credit, about 670, and then and up. And then when you're dealing with excellent credit, because that's the thing now too, it's like 715, 720 and up. So those are pretty much give or take a little bit where your ranges are concerned.
But that's good to know too, that there's a difference between fair and good now.
Yeah, it's a difference.
Fair, you're not there yet.
Yeah.
You need to get to good and excellent.
You still got some places to go. But one of the, I talked about self-app. I talked about certificate of deposit by backed bank. Also, I want to talk about secure cards too. Secure credit cards. When you don't go, Capital One has a secure credit card. Discover has a secure credit card. And what these credit cards do is you have to pay $300 and they'll give you a $300 credit limit.
Right.
You have to pay $500 and you have to. What you don't want, these are costs in somewhat soft pools and not hard pools. You're more guaranteed, because what you don't want is a million inquiries of I tried, and now every time that you do an inquiry, it drops your credit scores. It impacts your credit score by 10%. And that's when I can get into the Fico Pie Chart, which may be a little bit later. Another company is Credit Strong. Credit Strong is a great company as well, where you can go on and sign up. They can give you up to, I think it's $10,000 CD or something of that nature, where you're paying like $25 or $50 or $100 a month, something of that nature. But on your credit report, it looks like someone's trusted you with $10,000. But it's different levels. It could be $5,000, $5,000, $10,000. But the point I'm making, the higher the amount that it quote unquote says that you're trusted with, is the higher amount you got to pay them monthly. Yes. So if you can afford $100 or $200 a month, it's okay. It ain't nothing wrong with the $25 a month. And then some people ask me about credit restoration, and my advice to you about that is, I can't do everything myself. And somebody will tell you, just do it yourself. You can fix your own credit. I agree, you can. But if you don't know the language, if you don't know strategy and things of that nature, you may hurt yourself more than you can help yourself at the beginning point. So position yourself to mainly first YouTube, go to, get a mentor, get under the information where someone's teaching you about credit first, before you make the wrong, you going in and paying off stuff that you could have just disputed and it could have fell off. Or it's at that 7 to 10 year mark where, and that's one thing I want to tell you all too. If something been on your credit report for about 7 to 10 years, it's supposed to automatically fall off. But what you can do is you can turn around and call these people and say, hey, you know what, I'm ready to settle or start a payment. And right before it fall off, now you start that 17 years all over again, that by law they can go and fight you for that money again or stay on your credit report. But you did that. Yes. You just did that. Right. And it has a lot to do with we don't know what we don't know. So if you do ever have everybody, now this is my advice, do it how you feel it. Whenever someone's ever working on my credit report, I tell them I will pay you per item you take off. I don't do the $150 a month, $200 a month, $100 a month, because companies drag that. So if you want to get paid, I don't care if it's a premium price of $75 or anything of that nature, I will pay you $75 per item that you take off my credit report per month. So if you don't work, you don't get paid. Right. But what we not going to do is 3 years that you done drug out this $100 a month, and I had to pay an initiation fee or whatever, and then all the way at the, we're not going to do that. Absolutely. I need all my coins. We're not going to play these games. Yes. So that's a little bit of advice. Any other questions before I go any further? I didn't want to just.
I'm just curious. You talked about, I've seen you speak before about credit in terms of different resources. Yeah. You always say you should be looking at something at least 10, 15 minutes a day. What are those resources? What should we be looking at?
When you got to, we got to educate ourselves. Yeah. I think our focus is, we always quick to say, oh, I just don't know. Educate. I always tell people, go on YouTube. YouTube. I mean, we have so much technology now that my parents didn't have. Full of information. It's just a thing of, I'm curious. Is lazy the problem? Like, it's just too much free information out here. Facts.
Too many options. What we talked about earlier. So now you're getting you going to Google to find some information, but then you get your phone beeps, and you got a message coming in, or something else comes up from social media, and now you're on some fun stuff.
Yeah, and this is why I say the importance. And this is why I say the importance of even what you was talking about earlier about the vision board. Credit should be a part of that vision board. Not only credit, but what you gonna do with that credit. Like me and Miss Africa was talking some time ago, and I was talking to her, and I was saying, money is a tool to protect you. We do not understand that when you and I say this over and over again, when you have the money, you get better lawyers. You get better school systems. Absolutely. You get better healthcare. The list goes on. That's real. Yeah. A lot of the divorces in America is because of finances. Your woman can't be intimate with you when you don't know if the lights is gonna be on and off, and everybody invest. She ain't even feeling that. She like, brother, stop touching me, please. I'm over here trying to find out how we gonna stay in this house. But it's real.
Just go on.
It's real, exactly. And also, lack of finances will create a scarcity where you stressed.
Yes, absolutely.
Now you can't even function daily. Yeah. So it's a thing of like, my parents laugh at me, but when it's my time for marriage, I'm asking my family for $150 a piece. It was $175. That's what it was. For everybody that's gonna come to the wedding. And it has nothing to do with you got to pay to get to the wedding, but it has everything to do with, can you sow a seed for our future? When you do $175 times 300, you have $50-some thousand. That's a down payment for me a mansion.
So you don't want the China. You don't want the plaques and the frames to go on the wall.
Right.
You want that real investment.
Right.
I need some real
better-
investment.
you better-
That's $50,000 or $60,000
smart,
dollars
Yeah.
as a down payment for a $1.something million crib if you want it. And then we got a reception at the house.
Listen, that's my CEO right there. Y'all
We
better
can listen.
Y'all
Not only
better
that, but the point I'm
listen to
making
Chief of Staff in
is,
here.
when do we become logical? One of my associates, I can't even call him a friend, but he's a good guy.
Yeah.
But he really is an associate. We had a mutual friend, and he was like, "Yeah, this was like last year before last for Thanksgiving," and he was like, "Yeah, they bust out the pictures and all that. Look at the wedding and this, that, and that." And I was like, "Oh, this is a great.
Yes.
It was a 2-day wedding. This is great." And
Nice.
then I was like, "Tell Donna Michi how much you paid for the wedding." And he was like, "Man, you ain't gonna believe it." I was like, "Man, how much?" I thought he got a bargain, and he was like, "Man, I paid like $85,000 for the wedding, a 2-day
You
wedding."
are
So
kidding me.
I said.
Who does that?
I said, huh? But I mean, with
Okay,
their
that's a lot.
culture, they're really into the, they're 85,000 for a 2-day wedding. So everybody's like, yeah. I said, wait, hold on, stop. Y'all lost me somewhere.
Well, maybe were they already
it
set? I mean,
destination?
do they already have a mansion?
So this is
you
the
know
point
what I
I'm
mean?
making. So I said, how long did it take for you to save 85,000
Yeah.
cash?
Okay.
So he said, well, we stayed in her parents' basement for 2 years, and they put the money in the pot and saved and saved and saved for the wedding. They just wanted to go all out. So I said, hold on, let me get this right. Wow. You spent what you saved for 2 years in 2 days? That's the point I'm making about the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are putting ourselves in debt just by the little choices that we make. And it's really sad when you look at it. It's really hurtful. Like, that was a moment of celebration, and I was the only one that could not pull that together. And I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, I can't
Were you the
celebrate with
hater in
you
the
on
room?
that.
I think I was. You know what? Now that I think
I'm with
about
you
it,
though. I'm not hating, but I can't celebrate with you on that one. That's straight stupidity.
He pulled
Like-
out the picture. He pulled out the picture book and everything. But I'm gonna go forward. Let's talk about the FICO pie chart, but also let's talk about revolving credit and installment. When you talk about revolving credit, it's just what it says: revolving.
Keeps going, yeah.
So you're talking about your credit cards. You're talking about credit lines where you can spend some money and then put some money back on it. Spend some money. It's always going to be revolving. When you talk about installment, is you pay for that before you pay for that. So let me get it.
An example.
A house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I paid for it, but now I still got to make payments
Still making pay.
towards what I
Got
own.
you. Yeah.
So a car note, I paid for it. It's once I'm done paying this off, it's no more. Now I just got to go start the whole process all over again. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the difference between installment and revolving credit. So when you talk about the FICO pie chart, and I talk about this a whole lot because it's super basic, but we miss it. And when you talk about the FICO pie chart, it allows you to see yourself and to see how you're being graded. And I go over this over and over again. 35% of you're being impacted by 35%. Just, are you paying your bills on time? When banks are looking at you and saying, hey, can I give you the 35%, your credit score up there? 35, are you just paying your bills on time? And then I have to create another segment. Hopefully we will talk, because we need to know what bills are we paying that's affecting our credit, and what bills in a tight crunch can we say, hey, can we set up a payment plan? Man, I used to be the payment plan king.
Okay.
Do you hear me?
But that's not always good with your bills.
See, with payment, when I talk about the payment plan, NICOR, they're not reporting every month to your credit report.
Okay.
Comment. Now, if you don't pay them in 90 days, they're going to send it to the
problem.
credit. It's a real problem.
Okay.
They're going to send it straight to collections. AT&T, they not reporting. But if you don't send that equipment back, or if they going straight to the Verizon, so on and so on. But while those accounts are still alive and well, you can say, hey, I fell short this month. Can I get a payment plan where I pay an additional $20 a month or $30 a month? So be it, no problem. You haven't missed a beat. But when you're talking about car note, mortgage, car note, mortgage, credit cards, student loans. These are things that report to your credit bureaus monthly.
Now, what bills? What home bills are. So you mentioned not NICOR,
right?
Not AT&T. Or which bills do report to the credit?
Well, it all depends on. I can't really say because I don't know what all you have in your house.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay. So that's research you got to do.
Yeah, that's research. So it's a thing. I do know that mortgage gonna report on time.
Absolutely.
But then if you're renting, unless you have, and that's another thing. If you were talking about building credit, your landlord can set it up, and you can set it up where the payments of your rent, on-time rent, also are reported to the credit bureaus.
Okay.
So you have a rent reporter, Rental Karma, Level Credit, Rock the Score, and Credit My Rent, and it's several others. Well, you may have to pay a small fee, but now your landlord can report your on-time rent payment. So now when you get ready to go buy a house, you have some type of history saying that these have been on-time payments for this long. Now, the names that I saw just said to you, I just went on Google and looked them up. I'm not an affiliate. I don't know anything about them personally, but I do know exactly what they do, and that is what they do. They report to the credit bureaus on your behalf.
Now, as far as what you mentioned in terms of your rent being able to, be reported. So that's a conversation you'd have to have with your landlord to make sure. Yeah,
because your landlord is the one that's going to send the information off for it to show that it's reported. But there's a payment for that program. It's not in America.
I thought the landlord was just gonna be nice.
No, we don't. No, they're not nice in America.
So he might tack that onto your monthly rental bill.
You gotta pay to play. You gotta pay to play in America.
Wow.
But please look those up. So 35% just am I paying my bills on time. 30% is how much do you owe. So this is what we were talking about prior to when I was talking about whatever your limit is divided by 3. Worst case scenario, that is your limit. So if it's $1,500, you divide. If your credit card say you have a $1,500 limit, you divide $1,500 by 3, and $500 your limit. And like we spoke of prior to, if you do $501, you just dropped your credit score by leaps and bounds.
Wow.
If you do $500 in a quarter, you just drop your credit. That's the worst case scenario. You can't go no further. You really want to stay at like 10%, 6%, and not put yourself in situations like that.
Now I'm gonna have to stop you, Don.
Okay.
Because as it was last time, our hour we eat up this hour so quickly. We literally have a couple minutes. So you all, please, you're gonna have to tune back in. We're gonna have Mr. Donamichi Davis back with us, and we are sharing empowerment, financial empowerment information with you.
Yes.
We definitely want to take it to the next level, turn up our lives when it comes to our finances.
Yes.
And we can only do that with knowledge. Well, that's not the only way we can do that, but of course that adds a big part.
Huge.
A huge part. The knowledge, knowing what to do, how to do it, when to do it. You've got to have that information. Of course, bringing in income is the first stage. You got to bring some income in, but then knowing how to manage it, knowing what to do with it, and how to make certain moves so that you can allow credit to benefit you.
Yes, ma'am.
And so many different, things from owning a home, having a car. There's so many different things where now you're able to leverage.
Yeah. That wealth and health is very important.
Yes.
Staying well balanced.
Yes,
Ma'am.
absolutely. So as we end the show, because we've only got a couple minutes left, I did want to mention this because we wanted to start every show giving something, regarding your health as well. And we are on that. We're in a time right now where we're all dealing with a lot of different things in our society. And it's so important that we keep our immune system up.
Absolutely.
So just wanted to bring up vitamin D. One of our previous guests mentioned Mr. Sadiq Muhammad. When he was here as our guest, he is a fitness expert, and he mentioned the importance of vitamin D. So I'm going to give you just a few little tips and the importance of vitamin D, but then I want you to go to our Turn Up Life Facebook page. If you have not connected with us, we are Turn Up Life on Facebook. We are Turn Up Life _next level on Instagram, and you'll be able to access more information about vitamins and things definitely that you need to make sure that you put in your system for good health on our page. So we talked about sleep earlier. You talked about the mattress, right? Well, your vitamin D levels actually do affect your sleep quality.
Wow.
Yeah. So, in fact, several studies associate low levels of vitamin D in your blood to a higher risk of sleep disturbances, poorer sleep quality, and reduced sleep duration.
Wow.
Yeah. So definitely want to get that vitamin D in. It's a nutrient in your body that you need to help you build and maintain healthy bones.
Yes.
Okay, that's because your body absorbs calcium, but it needs vitamin D in order to absorb the calcium. The vitamin D and the calcium work together hand in hand. And a lot of people don't know a lot of your vitamins and nutrients work together.
Yeah,
so
they
you
do.
can't be deficient in one area and expect to overdo it in another area and think that's going to make up. It's not.
Yes.
You know, you've got to get your vitamin D in. Another point before we get out of here, because we got to go. And this is something most people may not know, and especially if you're vegetarian, it's important. So we talk about vitamin D3, but vitamin D3 comes from animals, including people, according to, resource on Google. But vitamin D2 comes from plants.
Wow.
Yeah. So check, even the supplements and different things that we're taking. Of course, the food that we're eating, we're not getting the nutrients that we need. So a lot of us, do have to, supplement. But, pay attention to the ingredients in your supplements based on your diet and make sure that it is good for you with what you choose.
Vitamin D2.
Yep, vitamin D2.
I had no idea.
Yep, so many more facts on vitamin D. There's a lot that I was reading that I was really amazed about. But, of course, the sun is the number one source of vitamin D. So we definitely want to, get sun. And I know it's cold outside, but throw some layers on, take a walk down your block or a brisk jog and head on back home and get that sun in, okay? So thank you all so much for tuning in. Now we're getting a bunch of loves and likes. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. We really appreciate you as we continue to build. Our whole goal is just to help you take things you do in life to the next level. Yes. So keep going, keep growing, no matter what you're going through. Just keep it going. Keep it growing, okay? And celebrate you. We want you to elevate you. And we want you to elevate our community too as we all turn up live.
And I'm reaching, yes, I'm reaching way up.